Back to the based Indonesian talks. Today, we have a very special guest amidst us. His name is Sergei. Oh shit, I forgot. Sergei Besarkaliyev. Yay!
Yes.
AKA Vatnik!
The Vatman.
Vatnik or Vatman?
Vatnik, Vatman. You know what? It fits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess so. So, without further ado, let's begin the show. Why are you Indonesia's biggest Vatnik?
That's a good question, actually. But I guess that's because I'm on a hit list.
I've heard. So, apparently, Sergei here, he is in the list of people that Ukraine once dead. What's it called? The Mirror of Soviets?
It's the Mirror of Soviets. So
Mirror of
it's a list of anti-Ukrainian people, according to them. They're an NGO based in Ukraine, but they're run by various people in their Ministry of Internal Affairs.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, a lot of people go there. I mean, the fun part is it's not hard to get yourself up there.
So
if you're very famous, you can shitpost your way there.
you can shitpost your way into the Ukrainian hit list, ladies and gentlemen.
So basically just talk shit about Ukraine and,
Correct,
and then
yeah.
you're gold.
Yeah, pretty
You're gold?
much.
Really?
Yeah.
That easy?
Yeah.
You heard it here first. I can't talk. You heard it here first, folks. Talk shit, get on the list.
Get on the list.
Get on the list.
Yeah.
Get on the watch list, grab your watch.
Exactly.
So I actually messaged him about this when I figured out, right? Actually, one of my friends figured out that he got into the list. And, you know, I messaged you about that, and you said you did a pro gamer move. And that was base. That was base.
Oh, man. It's like
That's
a top
really
6 COD comebacks.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Damn.
But, like, you're in the hit list, right? But even before that, you showed a lot of fascination regarding Russia and, might I say, very, you know, in a more direct term, enemies of the United States and the West. Like, where does that interest come from? Like,
So, I'm gonna just tell the backstory of how I got into the list in the first place. So what I was doing, I am actually in the Donbas on 2019.
Okay.
So it's way before it was viral.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was there for 3 conferences and for the May Day parade.
Okay.
When I was there, I had to observe several things, like how the country is back then was the Lugansk People's Republic, and they were nominally sovereign. They weren't under Russian control, as far as I see by my own eyes. Those weren't just Russian soldiers walking in different uniforms. Those are actually people from a different place outside of Russia at the time.
I see.
And based on what I see myself, they have a working government institution that governs the Lugansk People's Republic from the Lugansk city at the time. What I think angered Ukraine the most is, of course, the fact that I trash talked them about their human rights records at the time. And I spoke a lot about what I've heard there. I saw, like, I once went and took a taxi, and the taxi driver was ranting about how several nights before his house got hit by a Tochka missile from the Ukrainian side, or a Smerch, I can't recall. But they were getting bombed. And that's, as far as I know, that was what was happening.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, why was I interested on that region? I guess at the beginning it was pure curiosity. But to call me like just like obsessed with Russia and like being a Vatnik in the same way as a weeaboo becomes a weeaboo, I guess. I mean, you can call me a weeaboo as well. I'm into anime and stuff like that as well. I mean, it's unsurprising, but
Nani?
the same as us.
But so what if I like Russia as well? I mean,
I mean, usually the Russian chicks depicted in animes are pretty hot. So
They're always
You know what?
depicted
You know
the
what?
same.
You know what? I'm alright with that.
Yeah, they're always actually like Russian chicks in anime is depicted the same. You know, continuing from what you said, they're always depicted with blue eyes, white hair.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it looked like they can turn into the blue eyes white dragon anytime.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I mean, I get the the interest. So moving on, we have a bunch of questions for you.
Oh no.
Oh,
He's pulling up his data.
yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah, so, to be true to today's topic, we've decided to replace the water with vodka. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually pretty good.
How do you say cheer?
Cheers in Russia.
Na zdorovye.
Na zdarovya.
Na zdarovya.
I'm good.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, that burns the throat. Oh, pure
Cringe.
Russian vodka. Okay.
You're based Indonesian, bro. Don't do that.
Okay. But sometimes, I struggle to understand what exactly base means, so I end up being baseless.
It's very
So, yeah.
haram to drink alcohol, kids.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Okay. So, we went through why you Indonesia's biggest Vatnik, Second question is, continuing from your interest in the whole kerfuffle in the Donbas region, what are your stances on the Ukrainian and Russian war? Or, sorry to cut, but if we want to stick true to the story, then a special military operation.
So, as far as you can tell, obviously. So, I'm for Russia at this.
Okay.
Like full on at the beginning, and a lot of people, maybe a lot of people who's been full of Ukrainian algorithms over on their social media and such, they think of like, why do I hate the enemy? Why do I like the enemy? Why do I like those who break law and so on and so forth? But back again, why was I in the Donbas in the first place? My interest was actually humanitarian. I saw people who got bombed. Like, we see people in the streets protesting and saying Palestine is Ukraine. I'd rather call that not. I'd call that BS. Donbas is like Palestine back then. Those people were getting bombed. Those people were getting oppressed. Like, Ukraine was in a very, very fascistic regime until right now, I dare say. Since what happened in 2014. And why am I saying this is because cue to the meme, Your Honor, you weren't there. I was there. I saw things myself. I saw that they were struggling to get their state together. They were getting attacked. Civilians were getting killed.
I see.
Like, the bombings happened daily back then. Before Russia intervened, the contact point was way back. Like, Lugan city was under fire. But I believe in mid-2022, the Lugansk People's Republic was fully, like, liberated from Ukrainian presence. And until this day, Donetsk city is still being bombed by the Ukrainians.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there any reason for this relentless bombing?
Yeah, from the Russian side, and what I agree on, it's because the Ukrainian regime since 2014 has been taking a very Russo-phobic stance, and the Russians would dare say call it fascist, because the current regime glorifies Stepan Bandera, one of the old leaders of the so-called Ukrainian insurgent army. So Stepan Bandera was an infamous Nazi collaborator.
Yeah, he was a Nazi sympathizer, I
Yeah.
heard.
Not sympathizer, collaborator. So
Collaborator.
he did fight off Hitler, but he didn't stop purging the Jews. He didn't stop the pogroms. He didn't stop killing Russians because they were Russians, basically. I mean, if you look at, like, the slogan that's so mainstream these days, Slava Ukraini, if you Google it and look at the picture where you can cue and edit this on the screen, posters that say Slava Ukraini, it literally shows a Hitler salute and a Heil Hitler behind
Yeah.
the banner of someone who said Slava Ukraini.
And what's even more concerning is that recently Canada, they invited a Ukrainian
Yeah,
into the parliament, and turns out he was a former
member
Schutzstaffel
of the SS.
of the
Right,
SS,
yeah, the Waffen
Hitler's state security agency. You know, we're
Yeah, one
infamous.
of the things that puzzles me
for the
and a lot of my
Holocaust.
Russian friends is why would Poland be very Ukrainian? Because they were the ones who got massacred by Stepan Bandera. And the supporters of the current Ukrainian regime, they were very supportive of Stepan Bandera, who murdered a lot of Polish people.
I see. Now, before we move on, you said you were on the ground and you witnessed civilians getting bombed mercilessly by Ukrainian forces.
Correct.
This goes in contradiction with a lot of what Western media sources would say that Russia fabricated the story of, what do you call that? Of, civilians being bombed
So
by
look,
Ukraine.
I was on that list
Uh-huh.
since 2019.
Yeah.
Right? And I am lucky to be Indonesian because so far the Ukrainian government couldn't do anything about it.
Yes.
As for people living around Ukraine and in the West, I've heard because of the way the website Mirat Forats, they dox you, right?
Yes, they dox you.
A lot of people have had their homes visited, violated, and some people I heard have been killed by mobs of people who simply, I believe they're probably just people supporting Ukraine, or Ukrainians who are like very fascistic. They would actually go after the people who are like mentioned on that list and like hit on them.
So there's pure act of interborder policing that is illegal.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, I mean, that website has been cited a lot by international organizations for breaking human law, and by breaking human rights law, because a government that doxes someone online, and I believe in one of the recently someone also went to the Donbas for observing elections there. As I believe as a professional, as a specialist, he got listed on a new list. This is different from the Mirat Forats list, and this guy had the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense spokesperson. I forgot the name. I forgot her name. She's a trans woman, very famous.
Oh.
So, but this trans woman basically said, "We will hunt you down." So, like, the Ukrainian government, the government, is saying that they would hunt people who simply came to the Donbas.
Just for a visit?
Yeah, correct.
Really?
And should I say, if we look at the way Russia has been attacking Ukraine, they've been bombing military installations. Of course, civilians were maybe harmed in the process because of collateral damage and such. It's war. But if you look at how Ukraine is conducting their strikes, look at, I'm not sure if you've heard Daria Dugina.
Daria, no, I have never heard of that.
She's a journalist and an activist in Russia. She's not a soldier. She's the son of a Russian philosopher called Alexander Dugin. Dugin might be an important politician in Russia, but Daria, she's just a student activist, basically.
So basically,
She's
you're
a
saying
youth
she's a
activist.
nobody.
Yeah, in the grand scale of things. She's just, from a human rights perspective, being an activist civilian in an opposing country doesn't mean you're a military target, correct? But she got assassinated by the Ukrainian Secret Services, by the SBU, by bombing her car. That actually happened inside Russia.
Damn.
And the world was cheering on this, somehow. Look at the attack of the Crimean Bridge. Is the Crimean Bridge a military target?
It's a bridge.
It's a bridge, but it's a place where civilians go through and through.
Exactly.
Ironically, one of the things that I saw back in my visit in Lugansk back in 2019 was actually a humanitarian corridor bridge also blown up by the Ukrainians. So I guess it rhymes.
So what we can take from here is that regardless of everything that is happening on the ground, Ukraine has pretty much won the war of information and turning public opinion against the Russian side of things.
I say from the media perspective, mostly yes, because as you see, most Western media, social media especially, like Meta, they censor everything from the Russian perspective. Everything from Russia comes with a warning. This is run by the Russian government. You see that over on Twitter as well back then, and a lot of them in all Meta websites. You can't share content from, for example, Russia Today by just like clicking share. It's a bit more complicated. You have to like go click the post and then you click share after you read the warning that it's Russian government backed. Yeah, it's just been like that for a long time. So I wouldn't be surprised of like how most people wouldn't know anything about the Russian perspective and why would they do this? Why would they strike on 2022?
I see. Well, it was quite a. I mean, personally, me and perhaps I speak for myself, like because I'm on social media a lot, and most of my friends are mostly from the West. It's really hard for me to acquire information from the Russian side of things, and the only information I get from the Russian side of things is when Russia, is caught fabricating facts and lies, obviously. But the way I think about it is Ukraine is possibly doing the same thing to win the information war.
I agree.
Right?
Look at the Battle of Bakhmut.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
The Russians took it some times ago, several months ago.
Yeah.
But when it happened, Zelensky basically denied that it happened.
Yeah, like about Bakhmut is that they said the Ukrainian side of things said that now Wagner controls Bakhmut. It's because we let them win by committing into a flexible defense sort of strategy. But I think it's just bullcrap, you know.
They've been defending that city for quite some time and
Yeah.
losing a lot of soldiers.
Yeah, I think them committing to a flexible strategy is bullcrap. They got defeated in Bakhmut.
The meat grinder
know.
is the Russian strategy.
It's the Russian
the Russian
strategy.
tactic, not the other side.
Yeah. So, you know, it's it's always kind of refreshing to see things from a different side of perspective, correct?
Well, I think it's just the fact of being based as being well informed.
Yeah, being well informed.
Yeah, it's
it's
being
always
well-informed.
it's always great to know what is going on from both sides of the issue, so you would understand what exactly is going on. I mean, sometimes it's really hard to gouge the truth, especially when the truth is really gray. But
People see what the Russians are doing to the Ukrainian army, but people don't ask why they were doing
why they're doing
what they were doing.
They're
to the
also not
Ukrainians.
seeing. They're also not seeing things. What the Ukrainian side is also doing towards Russia. I'm personally like, obviously you're pro-Russian, right? And I'm definitely pro-Ukraine from my videos. But I do admit that Ukraine did some atrocities. I watched this one video in Reddit where Ukrainian soldiers, they managed to retrieve a cell phone from a deceased Russian soldier. They called his girlfriend up to tell him that he's dead, but the way they're doing it is not to tell her in respect that her boyfriend has passed away, but rather they did it mockingly. They said, "Your boyfriend is dead." Ha 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 ha! They laughed at it. It
Have
was
you seen
appalling.
the videos of
Yeah.
the Ukrainian government punishing people who evade the draft? Like,
I heard that there was people being punished because of the draft, but I've never really seen. Was it the one where they got tied up in posts?
one of them, yeah. So
One of them.
basically, in the current status quo in Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
Ukraine proper, you have people who are allegedly breaking laws. They got tied on poles by soldiers, like
I see.
in public view.
I see.
I don't really see how this isn't something big from a human rights perspective, but it's what they've been doing. This is not humanitarian. This is civil human rights. Like this is in the
I agree.
in the places in Ukraine outside of the battle zones.
A lot of people has been saying though, from the Ukrainian side, that these people got tied up because they're pro-Russian. Could it be, if we gauge the truth, they are labeled as pro-Russian because they refuse to fight in the war?
Perhaps. I mean, I couldn't judge the individual cases, but I know that in Ukraine, all political parties that have been pro-Russian were like quickly banned ever since 2022, and way back before, back in 2014. If you're pro-Russian, they actually did something similar to what Indonesia did in 1965, which was banning the Communist Party and basically arresting a lot of people for having opposite views to the
And banning a lot of, banning a lot of Indonesians from living.
in Ukraine.
No, in
life.
1965. Yeah, they banned a
in
lot of
life.
Indonesians from living.
Yeah, you can say that
Yeah.
a lot of basically things like that happen in Ukraine to minorities as well. And that's kind of why Russia is also labeling their government fascist. That's why the special military operation was called denazification, because that's literally the narrative that's going on.
So there is some truth to what Russia is doing in Ukraine.
That's what I'm alleging.
I see.
See.
I mean, it's very, it's very, like I said, it's very refreshing to see things from a different side of the story. But we know you're also pro-Russian. But let's move to the second question, which has something to do with seeing things from a different side. But maybe this question would endear to a lot of Indonesian people. But second question, what are your stances on the Hamas-Israeli conflict?
I'd call that the Palestinian-Israeli conflict.
Ooh.
Okay.
Because
Base.
Hamas, ever since 2020, I believe, their armored wing, the Al-Qassam brigades, they've been under a joint operations room with basically every other political party's military wing.
Al-Qassam, the military wing
Of Hamas.
Hamas, yeah. Okay.
So that's why I'm alleging that this conflict that we're seeing right now, the Al-Aqsa flood, is a Palestinian-Israeli conflict, not a Hamas-Israeli conflict.
But if we were to call it a Palestinian conflict, then people over at the West Bank that are controlled by the Fatah faction would also support this endeavor.
Correct.
Have they supported this endeavor?
The armed wing of Fatah, the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigades, they participated in
I see.
the operation.
They participated the operation from West Bank, or did they move over?
The West Bank and their branch in Gaza as well
Their
were
branch
joining
in
the
Gaza.
Al-Qassam. Correct.
So I've always assumed that since 2007, there's a split between Hamas and
That is
and
correct.
Fatah,
Yes.
which is correct, right? But is there any reason why Fatah is suddenly supporting whatever Hamas is doing right now?
One word, fascism. So a lot of people have been calling me pro-Russian or Vatnik or whatever they say. But
Or
one thing that I would say, one thing that I agree with politically is that I'm an anti-fascist. And I'm alleging that the Israeli government is fascist, just like Zelensky, the Ukrainian president.
Well, what do you know?
That's pre-based.
Well, what do you know?
I do
they-
agree. I think Netanyahu needs
Netanyahu.
I don't give a fuck. You know?
Netanyahu?
Yeah.
Netanyahu what?
Netanyahu. I don't give a fuck about who his name is. I think they should haul him in court, for the stuff that he's done to the Palestinian people.
So, fun fact, why am I very pro-Palestine? And why would I be against the so-called Jewish state
Yes.
if I am anti-fascist in the first place? So, surprisingly to most, Israel has been allying itself with fascist groups ever since the Cold War. If you look up the Lebanese Civil War, the faction that Israel backed was the South Lebanese Army and the so-called Free State of South Lebanon back then. So the ones governing that side were the Phalangist Party, or the Katai Party.
yes.
The Phalangists were literally copy-paste of the Spanish Phalangist Party.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have their own brand of Spanish fascism that they import to Lebanon. And ideologically, how they differ from the other, the socialist, leftist, and centrist Islamist Lebanese parties is that their ideology was basically, we was Phoenicians and shit. We're not Arabs.
Phoenicians.
Yes. And basically they were alleging that they were white and not Arabic. And they waged a civil war, and they're still a very prominent political faction in Lebanon until today.
So you're saying that they think they have white privilege?
Well, back then there were no we don't call it that back then, but basically yes. And there were and Israel worked hands in hands with them. If you'd like to know, like this might be a trivia, but Mia Khalifa, her dad was in this group, the Lebanese
Mia
forces.
Khalifa,
She used to have an actual tattoo
the
of
porn
the cross.
star.
Yeah,
The porn star.
yeah.
Jesus.
Of, like a red cross tattoo on her arm,
Uh-huh.
showing that she's a member of the so that her dad is a member of the Lebanese forces. Although Mia Khalifa is now pro-Palestinian, and she disavowed that thing. She literally like deleted that tattoo.
Oh, so she kind of kept it while she's already still doing her work until the whole Israel-Palestinian thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I wouldn't really know about that, but
I
basically that's what I've heard.
Okay.
This is worth a check.
I mean, see, the thing is, right? I thought that the reason why Mia Khalifa left, Mia Khalifa is a corn star is because her dad is basically pro-fascist. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do corn now. I was like, it's like a fatherless behavior thing.
Fatherless.
I thought it was that. I thought it was that. So okay, so she.
I mean, people with daddy issues, they tend to do really crazy shit.
Fatherless behavior.
Fatherless behavior. Yeah. Let's be more politically correct.
Yes.
Anyways, yeah, I'm against Israel the same way I'm against Ukraine because I'm against fascism in general. I don't like how Russians and minorities were being treated in Ukraine, and I don't like how the apartheid happened to the Palestinians in Palestine, of course, by the Israelis.
Well, but continuing from so you say you're against Israel, but it's evident that Palestine forces are also conducting some atrocities towards Israeli settlers, civilians.
Atrocities towards what civilians?
Towards Israeli civilians, like as we can see in the what do you call that? The that music festival. Like,
If you
what do you think of that?
look at Israeli law,
Uh-huh.
every person, man or woman, they get conscripted by a certain age and they get armed. And being settlers means that you have to actually go to Palestinian land and settle there without their consent.
Okay,
So does that mean that you're a guiltless civilian? I don't think so.
So
all right.
basically, here what you are saying is that the Palestinian forces, they did the most safest thing and just deleted everybody there. In case somebody has a gun, because you said, as you say,
They returned some of the hostages.
They returned some of the hostages,
And some of the hostages said that they were being treated very well.
Okay, I mean,
it's bad PR for Israel by letting there's these like two old women who got freed.
Oh yeah, that.
Oh
video.
yeah,
No.
So as I was trying to say is that Palestine tried to do the safest thing, and as you say, a lot of most Israelis are conscripted, so that means everybody in the music festival are considered armed belligerents. Belligerents. Fuck my English, man. Belligerents.
Perhaps not like a standing army belligerent level,
but they're capable. They're
Yes.
possible manpower.
yes.
So it's like a
I
normal
see.
civilian in Texas with guns.
You can say that.
Yeah. All right.
I mean,
But to me, even worse because as far as I know, people in Texas don't randomly take up other people's lands. So there is
So like, okay. So to put it simply, to dumb it down, right? So in Israel, happy birthday, go get some land. Is that it? Like that's like the whole thing.
Here's how Zionism, as I understood it, Zionism alleges that if you were Jewish and you wish to return to Israel, like your ancestors from 1,000 years back, you get support from the Israeli government, and then they will allocate a piece of land for you.
I see.
And this piece of land is most likely already inhabited by a Palestinian family living there. This is what happened in Sheikh Jarrah in Jerusalem. So this Palestinian family, I believe it's the Al-Kurd family, they had to be evicted to get an American called Jacob to replace them.
Jacob?
Oh yeah, I've seen the video circulating.
It's the one
on
with
YouTube.
the woman
Yeah.
Muna Al-Kurd saying, "You are stealing my house." That
Yeah,
one.
Jacob was he's American Jewish, right?
Yeah, he's from Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's from Brooklyn.
So if
I saw
I
that video.
Oh, I think so.
so being a person from a legal background here, if we talk about Zionism, if it's like saying that, for example, let's say I'm Indonesian Chinese, which I am partly, anyways, then I can claim, like, although my ancestors have lived in Indonesia for hundreds of years, I can claim land in China and evict someone in China just because my ancestor lived there.
I see. So that's how the logic works.
How does that doesn't make sense to me, and that's why I'll never agree to Zionism.
Yeah, that's a dickish move.
That's a dick move. That's a
And
huge
not
dick move.
every
Yeah.
Jew, as far as I understood, like most Jews that aren't specifically Zionists, they disapprove of this thing.
Yeah, as they should, I believe.
As they should, man.
Yeah. Yeah, stay out of people's homes. Homewrecker, squatter.
They're fucking squatters,
fuck?
man. Jesus.
Get out. Get out of here.
But before we move on to the next question, there's one more thing I'd like to ask you. There was this one video circulating on the news about a half Israeli, half German girl that was that became a casualty in the music festival, and she had her body paraded in Gaza by the Hamas combatants.
Yeah, I've heard.
What do you think of that? Do you think it's do you think it's authentic, or do you think it's bad? Like, how would you address this?
I think the video, if it might be real, it just showed the Palestinian, basically civilians instead of professional armed militiamen, basically looking over her body, right?
They stripped her naked, and then some of the men spit.
I'm not
disclaimer,
sure
yeah.
about like case per case basis, but as far as I've heard, the person you're talking about is still alive.
It's still alive.
Yeah, and the second thing is they said that she was already naked in the party anyways. It's not that she was getting stripped.
Okay.
The allegations of rape were just allegations.
So it's-
Okay,
so it's
allegations of
media
rape.
framing. Oh, I see.
I see. So it could be media framing.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
I see.
let's be honest here, guys. There has been atrocities committed in Israel, to be honest, right? Like, for example, their soldiers now couldn't get like what's the term? No, not that. I saw this one video of like this American American Jewish woman who made like a daily life video check on TikTok. And it's like, it's a daily video, guys. It's war edition. Okay, so we can't get gluten-free bread, and that's like the main issue in Israel right now. Like, yeah, guys, it's pretty bad. Honestly, no gluten-free breads for the soldiers. Are you serious? Like, come on. Come on.
These soldiers
Like, the
sound like they're
Palestinians couldn't get
Zoomers,
water, and they couldn't get gluten-free bread. Outrageous.
I'm just gonna say that Israel has been doing the water apartheid.
Yeah.
They've been separating wells for the
Yeah, for a
Zionist
while.
families and the Palestinians for a long time. So, for the fact that they've blockaded Gaza, it might be a new thing. But the fact that they've limited access to water towards Palestinians, this has happened way before
Yeah, it's been a while.
this year.
Yeah, but seriously, man, no gluten-free breads for the Israeli army? Come on. What do you think about that?
That's terrible, man.
Yeah, that's-
imagine the Israeli Zoomers are conscripted, man.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I gotta eat normal bread now? Ugh.
They have to eat normal bread. That's atrocious.
No hummus on my bread? Ugh.
Hummus. Fuck hummus, bro.
Fuck
No,
hummus.
we can just destroy them by producing
Yeah, you know what? We can make them fat with carbs.
Yes,
I guess.
that's exactly.
Give them nasi padang for all I care.
A very mundane solution
Exactly.
for a really hard, 75 years long problem.
It might be a business opportunity for someone from
Exactly.
Padang.
Exactly.
No one
Business
has
expansion.
opened a Padang joint.
Exactly.
Yeah, there, right there, yeah.
Hey, business
It's very
opportunities.
conservative as well.
Yeah, listen, for my Padang homies, Udas, Unis, Udas and Unis. Well, okay, Udas and Unis. Yeah, listen, right? Nasi Padang in Israel. Listen,
Nasi Padang in Israel is
Yeah.
a great opportunity.
rendang with hummus. With
Yeah.
hummus. Imagine.
I'm not gonna
My
be
question
surprised
is-
if someone opened a surau in Palestine.
My
Bro,
question
yeah.
is, have you ever actually tried hummus?
I actually did. Yeah,
Okay, what does it taste like?
it's very. How do I say it? I mean, they serve to
It's
me.
like savory yogurt.
yeah,
It's like
it's savory.
yogurt.
It's
You
kind of
tried
cold.
hummus too.
Yeah, of course.
Where did you try? Where did you guys just try
Halal guy.
hummus?
Halal.
You have
yeah, there's a restaurant here.
Palestinian restaurants in Indonesia.
Oh my
Yeah.
Lots of them.
God, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the halal guys.
Yeah,
Jesus,
yeah.
I
Like,
never really tried.
oh
them.
yeah, like there is one of the
You know
restaurants.
Imados?
I know Amado shawarma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're Palestinian.
Yeah, definitely they're Palestinian, but I've never really tried hummus from Amado shawarma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the last time I actually tried hummus, it's actually pretty. I don't know. Kind of flaky, kind of cold. You know when
So
they
what
serve
is
it
this?
to me?
Based Indonesian eats?
Yeah,
I mean,
could be.
It could be.
It could be a spin-off series.
Yeah.
maybe.
After this, let's go grab some hummus.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then we can eat it in front of an Israeli face. Oh look, we're eating your gluten-free bread. I don't know.
Okay. Moving on to the next question. So, returning to the whole issue that you're a Vatnik and you also support, you're pro-Russian. Recently we know, not really recently, but a few months we know in Russia, there was an internal conflict between two of Putin's biggest oligarchs.
Biggest strongman, you can say.
Biggest strongman, might I reiterate what I said, between what's his name? Between Shoigu, the chief of staff,
Minister of Defense.
the Minister of Defense of the Russian ground forces.
Russian armed
Sorry,
forces.
yeah, the Russian from the Russian ground forces. He's a general in the Russian ground forces, and we got we got Prigozhin, who is apparently Putin's chef, and his name rhymes with
Pierogi.
Pierogi, yes, with pierogi,
Pierogi.
the Russian food, which is very appropriate, might I say, for a Putin chef. But he also controls Wagner PMC, as we might know. So who do you side with?
I side with Russia, so between them both, I'm not gonna say a lot. But what I'm gonna say is, what they were fighting for, what they were basically arguing about, is which is the more efficient way to beat the Ukrainians.
Oh.
So imagine this: they disputed over which of them are more efficient in defeating the Ukrainians so much that they had like an internal conflict over it.
I see.
I think that also gives a very strong impression that Russia is united in this struggle against
I see.
Ukrainian fascism.
You know, that could be like a good plot line for like a shonen anime. Most definitely. Yeah.
I don't see the resemblance with a show.
No. Like a rival, like the main protagonist, whoever it is, and then the rival, right? The deuteragonist.
Are you seriously likening fucking Prigozhin?
I mean,
Shoigu
the
with
whole idea is.
Naruto and Sasuke?
I mean, listen. I didn't say Naruto Sasuke.
but they're one of the anime's biggest rivalry.
Yes,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is maybe could it be?
If you've heard of the dispute between Iraq and Syria back in the Cold War,
Yeah.
The Ba'athists.
yeah, the Ba'athists.
Yeah.
I think the issue is similar. They were arguing about which side is actually going to take down Israel.
So
But they ended up taking out each other instead.
so basically it's a problem in methodology.
Yeah.
But in a way, like this whole conflict between Prigozhin and Shoigu, let's just say argument, a very fatal argument, which ended
Yeah.
with Prigozhin's death. Is he dead?
I think so, as far as I know.
You
But
think so?
as far as I know as well, I'm not really sure if, as they say, Putin took him down. I mean, what the Russian media and what Putin and many Russian soldiers out there, they gave condolences to Prigozhin, unironically, and so did I.
Yeah.
and a lot of people are saying that it's a bomb planted inside the plane instead of a missile.
I see. I see. I see.
So to pro-Russians, Prigozhin is still uh, a hero of sorts because he took Bakhmut, and
he took Bakhmut. Yeah.
what Wagner PMC did was way more for Russia than just Bakhmut. They saved Syria's regime from falling to ISIS. They were one of the most efficient units in Syria fighting ISIS, and they were also a force liberating a lot of a lot of Africa's countries from, I believe, French imperialist domination.
Yeah.
That's why you're seeing these coups happening in Africa.
Yeah, there is a very what do you call that? There's a problem in Africa that a lot of people doesn't pay attention to, is that the French foreign policy plays a huge part in Africa, and what amounts to the French foreign policy in Africa is what we could call neocolonialism.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot what the term is, but it's in French.
Basically, the French stationed soldiers in Africa and other regions in Africa, in the Central African Republic, it's confirmed that the Wagner PMC group, they helped the regime stabilize itself after decades of civil war and unrest. So I think, despite a lot of people are saying about Wagner's atrocities, people never hear of Wagner's great sides.
Yeah. So
let alone Russia's great sides as well.
Wagner is directly against the France-Afrique. I found it France-Afrique policy in Africa, which really keeps a lot of these corrupt politicians in Africa in power for the benefit of the French state. But might I also make an observation that this very fatal argument, which costed the life of Prigozhin, is doing a lot of favor to the West than it does to Russia.
Yeah, you can say that.
Because
I think that the rebellion shouldn't have happened as it happened. There were lives lost, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Very regrettable lives lost.
And they say it's because Prigozhin lost his shit.
A lot of people say that. I couldn't give my opinions or judge personally. I wouldn't know.
I see. Well,
or maybe he was just that passionate about
do
Russia.
you wanna admit that Wagner is no?
Well, Wagner is based, overall.
Wagner is based.
Wagner is based.
Yeah, and fuck all you Western bastards who think so.
Have you guys seen the logo, the war patch of Wagner?
Yeah, I seen it. I also listen to the music. I know I'm pro West, but I have to say the Wagner song is pretty catchy. You know.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it's very catchy.
I should definitely put it on my Spotify then.
I know, it's very catchy. Seriously, it's so catchy, man. I can't believe this is a banger.
Look, guys.
Yeah.
They people are saying that Russia is the bad guy, but have you seen the patches, like the insignia that the pro-Ukrainian Western PMCs are using? It's literally like a symbol of a demon, of a devil. Have you seen forward observations?
No, I haven't.
You haven't. Hit that up. Forward observation group. Put it on the screen.
Fog.
FOB. Forward observations group.
FOB.
FOG.
Yeah, fog.
Yeah,
Fog.
fog.
It's literally a Jolly Roger with a demon on it. And the symbol of Wagner in their patch is someone.
I don't see it. Am I typing it wrong?
This one.
Oh,
yeah.
what?
Yeah,
It's a demon.
You just put it up there.
Just put it up there.
Just put it up there. Ching-ling.
It's a Jolly Roger.
Yeah, and if you look at Wagner's symbol, you can
Wagner.
Don't type in P.
Wagner.
It's actually someone bashing the demon. There, see?
Oh.
Bam.
So this is the official thing.
It's gonna be up here as well.
Yeah.
It's called the Wagner Exorcist Group.
Oh.
So the Russian soldiers, the Russian armed forces, had a similar patch, but it's even more based. It's like an image of an archangel stabbing a demon.
Ooh.
So like, I don't know, guys. Who are the good guys here?
I mean,
a lot of iconography here at play and a lot of symbolism, but what I can say is that it's usually the bad guys that have the nice fashion sense.
yeah, maybe they should put like a straw hat or something, make it.
Talking about fashion sense, do you realize that the Russian army and the Americans?
Something happened. I think it was a dragon break.
Yeah,
Akatosh was angry. But
Yeah.
anyways, moving on.
I think the Israeli finally got their gluten-free bread and attacked back.
Yeah.
They have it.
You were saying something about fashion sense.
Yeah, fashion.
Yeah, talking about fashion sense. I mean, the Russian army and the Americans, they have the same camouflage pattern recently,
Oh yeah.
multicam, and they wear very similar stuff. So if you're going for that argument, I don't think it still makes sense today.
Okay, so
I'd have to see. I'd have to see it first.
so they copy paste their camo patterns or what
Yeah,
is-
yeah, more or less.
more or less. That is not very based.
Yeah. Copycat.
That is-
Yeah,
Not
to be honest,
so
that was a
based.
bummer for me as well. I mean,
That's
they
a-
look the same now.
Oh,
Yeah.
This
man.
sucks.
Yeah, it's like when you're accidentally wearing the same
like-
shirt.
It's like that one episode of Flapjack where there's two teams playing football. One team was black wearing white stripes. The other team was white wearing black stripes.
It's
It's
That's,
it's like that. So
yeah.
Wagner made a movie
Uh-huh.
about it.
They
It's-
actually made a movie.
yes,
No
it's
way.
called Best in Hell. Wagner has a lot of movies
Yeah.
about their wars in
Uh-huh.
Africa, in Syria, and in Ukraine.
I hope
of
it's not
course.
snuff though.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's an actually well-produced film.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah, you can look it up. Best in Hell.
Best in hell.
Yeah, by Wagner.
Yeah, the poster's gonna be right here. Yeah, I'm sorry, editors.
Best in hell. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I can't believe they actually made a movie.
Yeah, so in that
Wow,
movie,
sounds-
it shows that both sides have the same uniforms, and the only difference these days are like the armbands,
Okay.
and like the Russians sometimes wear the orange and black ribbons,
oh, okay.
the St. George ribbons on them.
So talk about on the original.
So would you think? So right, imagine. So you're saying like they're basically wearing the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you think like for some funny coincidence, right? They both met and they did the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
They went like this.
Yeah, I mean, talking about Zoomers these days, I would not be surprised. I've seen soldiers with anime stickers on their guns.
Ooh.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if they know the Spider-Man meme and
Yeah.
They
I mean,
actually-
it's about
they
damn
actually do that.
time, you know?
Yeah.
It's about damn time. Back in World War II, people like to plaster like their favorite pinup girl on planes, and now we have fucking Hitori Bochi.
And one more interesting thing is they speak the same language as well. Ukrainians mostly also speak Russian.
If I'm not mistaken, like the Ukrainians, like Russians don't understand Ukrainians, but Ukrainians understand Russians because there's different-
Mostly correct, yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah. So like the Ukrainian language is closer to Polish a
Okay.
bit. So but the Ukrainians speak like proper Russian. Most Ukrainians speak proper Russian as well.
I see. That's nice to know. But let's move on to the next question.
Aren't they
without further
diverse?
ado now. So we talked about Russia. We talked about Palestine and Israel. We talked about why you're Vatnik, and obviously the overarching highlight here is that these people are considered or labeled enemies of the West. Now, my question is, what are your sentiments of the West?
Honestly, for me, I'm really normal with American or Western culture. But what I'm against, maybe from the West, I'm not like, the West has fallen, billions and stuff. But like,
You're not a chud.
but like,
You're a chud.
I just don't like it when the Americans did what they did to Iraq and stuff. Basically, I don't like the West intervening in ways that they haven't. But I'm not saying all wars have bad consequences.
Of course.
But there's always a reason for them.
Yeah.
But I'm also saying neocolonialism is a thing, and it's been happening for a while, and that's basically everything I'm against on the west side. But other than that, I'm not like anti-American and like against rappers. I'm speaking English, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, you're speaking English.
Against rappers.
I pause. You still show up. Probably with a MacBook, and sometimes you get coffee from Starbucks and shit like that.
Yeah, I'm not against
Yeah.
American society.
Okay.
I am against American colonialism.
I see. You're just more concerned about what they're doing overseas outside.
Yeah.
Their
I'm
own
not
borders.
against American culture. I'm against American imperialism.
I see.
People really need to differentiate that sometimes because
Because like sometimes
it's
like
mixed.
when people,
I'm for all culture, for real. Like I don't mind wherever you come from. I don't consider myself a racist person. Sorry if this is unbased.
What?
you're not racist.
Ain't no way.
No way, man.
Nah, bro.
I thought you would come here and at least show one disdain for a particular race.
I hate white people.
Oh my god.
Anyways, sorry. I just had to let that one out. It was in me.
Yeah. Get it out of your system, man.
No racism.
This is a
Hold me
safe space for
back,
everybody.
bro. Hold me back. I was about to jump. Hold you back, man. No racism.
Hold you back. Fuck.
Fuck it. But he's not
Keep
racist.
it together.
Anyways,
Okay, sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, my friend, he needs to get things out of his system. It's been a really rough day for him. Anyways, I believe we have one more question because there's two questions here, right?
There's a
But
few.
I think we can mix them all up into one.
Okay.
But considering the political conditions of Indonesia right now, its domestic politics, its foreign policies, and the upcoming presidential elections, what are your thoughts on that and how it could probably align more with you?
For now, at the moment, I wouldn't say I can pick anyone in particular because if we talk about, for geopolitical reasons here, because from my POV, I don't think any one of them would change any of our geopolitical stances differently. And
Yeah.
as for now,
and to be honest, for me, that's a thing I'm really okay with because being an Indonesian is ironically, it makes you very free from a geopolitical standpoint. We have the bebas aktif system going on. And because of that, I can trade with America. I can buy American stuff, but I can also buy rugs from Iran,
That
for
is
example.
true.
I can smoke Cuban cigars.
Yes.
Americans can't do that
Can't
legally.
do that.
as
They
far as
have
I
to
know.
go to Canada.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, in 2023, I think this thing is so very relevant that for me, I can look at Telegram and see Russian media, and I can look at Meta and see American media, so I get the full picture of things. I can, and as an Indonesian, I think it's a privilege that Indonesians are able to do, because in many Western countries they ban Russian media. In maybe if you live in China or Russia, you don't get to see the same coverage of Western media as well. But in Indonesia, it's fair game from the media, from trade. Yeah,
I see.
so much for America and freedom.
Yeah, so much for
so much for
American
the free
freedom.
market.
Exactly.
So much for the free market.
It's ironic.
If I'm not
really.
mistaken, Milton Friedman, you've heard of his name, right? Milton.
Yeah, of course.
Friedman.
Of course, the
Oh yeah.
classical liberal philosopher.
Yeah, Milton Friedman. Wait,
Yeah.
let me
Was
check
it
his name.
Milton Freeman?
No, Milton Friedman.
Fried man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Milton
he's
Friedman.
baked, bro.
Yeah.
He's fried, dude.
crispy, man.
It's crispy,
For
dude.
real.
Mm.
No bussin'.
I'm not going to.
Yeah. He wait, 1 second. Like I was about to explain. Like Milton Friedman. He said something about true a true democracy, true freedom is when people have the purchasing power to buy anything they want.
Correct.
Yeah, and I feel like in that regard, Indonesia is more better
Yeah, we're
than
freer.
the land of free.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no, because I still disagree with Milton Friedman
Uh-huh.
and a lot of his statements. Because if we talk about purchasing power,
Yeah.
not all Indonesians are as privileged
Qualified.
as people who live in Jakarta.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people.
Definitely.
This country still has a lot of inequality,
Yes.
and so do many third world countries as well. But and that's why fundamentally I don't agree with a lot of Milton Friedman's statements. But what I'm saying is, ironically, the person who's like advocating the most for a global unsanctioned free market right now would be Xi Jinping, the head of the Chinese Communist Party.
Xi Jinping.
Yes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's the one who's been all about the Belt Road Initiative, integrating the world economy, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff that you used to hear the Americans talking about, but now
back in the 90s.
correct.
Yeah.
But now things have changed, and the world is on their blocks again.
Yes.
The Iron Curtain is like slowly
Rising
getting
up.
back up.
It's safe to say that now is the second Cold War, correct?
Arguably, it might be hotter than the previous wars. I
It's
mean,
the hot war.
you don't
And
see.
would you say there's more than one side to this? Sorry, more than two sides to this?
I guess, but as far as I can see right now, it's mostly the unipolar dominance of the USA,
Is being challenged.
which is being challenged by emerging powers.
Emerging powers, yeah. The global south, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed.
Yeah, we are the global south. Yeah.
We can
But-
buy Cuban cigars.
Yeah. Is that everything else you need to, what's on your mind regarding what Indonesia should be in the future regarding alignment? Or?
Yeah, I'm like avowedly, I'd say I'm a very patriotic Indonesian because I'd like for Indonesia to be a great country, to be better, to
Definitely.
be richer, to be more
Yeah.
powerful. I'd like Indonesia to be. We have, I think, the strongest armed forces in ASEAN, but I hope that this criteria would be raised and we would compete with a lot of other armed forces in the world. I think for me, it's beneficial for myself. It makes me safer as an Indonesian to have a stronger Indonesian state.
Yeah. I mean, we're all Indonesians here, so we pretty much echo your regard towards this.
We want the best. We want the best
We
for our
want what's
country.
best for our country. Take notes, Malacca Project. Yeah.
I'm not saying that Indonesia has no issues, but of course we have issues.
Oh,
we have racism, which is really bad
Which is
and
very
divisive
rooted. Yeah,
for our
it's very
country.
divisive.
We have inequality. We
Yeah.
have lots of stuff to work with, but yeah, for what I want for Indonesia is the best for Indonesia, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we all want what's best for Indonesia,
Yeah.
and we want Indonesia to be even more based.
Yeah, exactly. A more based Indonesian.
A lot of people have been like saying that me visiting the Donbas is basically breaking Indonesian law or against the Indonesian government.
How?
That
I-
doesn't make sense because
yeah,
you're in Donbas.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, back then the new omnibus laws haven't been up yet.
Yes.
And right now, Donbass is Russia, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
not disputing any other country's sovereignty for any separatist movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly right now.
Oh, I see.
And yeah, I have no qualms with what's going on.
I don't think
with Indonesia, Russia.
people that accuse you of breaking Indonesian laws really understands how laws work in the first place.
That depends. I wouldn't judge, my friend. I wouldn't
I
judge.
I
You
do
would judge.
believe that. I think the people that are judging Geo for what's happening is just I think they're offended. Offended for them, for
I see.
Ukraine in a way,
So they're trying to virtue
They,
signal.
I guess they sympathize and they sympathize very much to a point that it gives a certain prejudice, and I think that's something that should be addressed when it comes to like addressing conflicts such as this, and to keep an open eye, to keep your both ears open and to hear and understand perspectives in
I
its own
see.
rights.
I never knew Indonesians could act like white girls.
Oh my God.
But anyways,
Oh.
Yeah, to those kinds of people, I mean, it kind of surprises me a bit that a lot of liberals in Indonesia side with Ukraine, even seeing what the Ukrainian government's representatives in Indonesia are doing. I mean, I've heard literally, I was on the same live stream. I heard the Ukrainian ambassador himself. He was saying that he's supporting Indonesia's foreign minister back in Suharto's era, who basically were in the same grouping as a lot of fascist Latin American dictators, like Alfredo Stroessner, if I'm not mistaken, and Pinochet. So,
Justice Pinochet.
yeah.
Let's see.
Crazy.
Yeah, so, like, why would you say that you're pro Suharto to liberals?
That's not a very good point to make, no, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, in Indonesia, you have people who are pro Suharto and against Suharto, right? But what I'm saying is, when he's speaking to a liberal audience, which you see, most people who support Ukraine are people who look at liberal algorithms on the internet that shows them pro-Ukrainian propaganda, right? But the Ukrainian ambassador was saying that he likes the solidarity between Indonesia in the Suharto era and the Ukrainian opposition back in the Soviet times, which was ironic. But at the same time, he's also saying that Ukraine was one of the first countries that recognized Indonesia, which was kind of true, kind of not, because back then it was the Soviet Union.
Soviet.
Yeah.
Then that means like if Ukraine would say that, then Russia would also be saying the same.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah. But anyways, I've ran out of these series questions.
Go ahead.
What I do have is a bunch of like 23 questions for you. Okay.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
This is going to be fun. Like we can go through one by one.
Summary.
Yeah. You see that? Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, that's very good.
Let's go.
All right.
Ready?
You go first.
Okay. There's a lot of Western, Western media likes to spread nonsensical things sometimes. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. But let's fact check those Western propaganda with a Russian expert right here.
Let's go.
All right. So, please do the honors.
All right.
First question.
All right. First question, sir. This is a legal interview. Is Putin a lizard?
I've heard some people call him a bear, but not a lizard.
Why a bear?
Don't ask me. It's not me who's saying that.
Okay.
What was the accusation? Why is he a bear?
I genuinely have no idea.
I mean,
I've heard Mark Zuckerberg's a lizard.
oh, okay.
I can't verify that though.
You know, he does look like a chameleon. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's weird like that.
Yeah, you can
I'm
just,
sorry, man.
you know,
I'm sorry.
he's
Please
one of
don't
the...
That's my home.
I own a big lizard, a biawak. His name's Mark Zuckerberg.
dude, I thought that was a dog.
Yeah, I think he's a dog. I don't know.
Oh.
People's been calling him a lizard though.
I mean, we live in an era where, what appears to be a guy can be called a girl.
I mean, no, they
Well,
can
we don't
assume whatever they want, right?
That's just...
That's just you. If you wanna identify as an Apache helicopter,
Go ahead.
good for you.
Yep. Okay, so Putin is not a lizard.
No lizard.
Nah.
Are you sure?
So. I am 99% sure.
So there's a 1% chance that he could be a lizard.
I have no idea, man. I can't verify.
All right, then.
Damn.
Moving on, then. Oh, shh. Oh, my God, I lost. Okay, there you go. All right. Number 2. Is it true Adidas is sold more cheaply in Russia?
I'm not sure if they're cheaper in Russia, but I know that the history of why Adidas was so popular in Russia was because they sponsored the Soviet Union back in the Olympics. Back in
Yeah, they do. They do.
They
actually.
did?
That was
They
why.
actually do.
They
yeah.
did?
That was why there's a lot of Adidas in Russia, and the hype is very big.
Wow,
I
okay.
see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Long live the tracksuits, dog.
Yeah.
Man, do you have one?
Of course.
Of course, man. That's a stupid question to ask. This guy
There is-
is the Russian expert.
Listen, man. There's
Obviously.
no stupid questions. All right.
Okay.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
just asking. I need to make sure that he's a real Vatman.
Okay. Now we can affirm that he is exactly...
You know
What
what?
he
Now
appears to
now I'm convinced.
Yeah.
Now I'm convinced.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm convinced too.
All right. Next question.
Next question.
All right. So, my man.
Is it... Okay, please do the honors.
So, we heard rumors that you are a weapons enthusiast, right? Or
You
not?
can say that.
You can say that, right? So, as a Vatman yourself, Is it true that Russian soldiers bring airsoft weapons in the war?
I've seen some people with air guns.
Really?
Yeah, like hunting air guns. I'm not sure why they would do that.
I mean, I guess for the memes.
Yeah, probably for the memes.
Do you think people
guess
are
it
going
happens.
into the war just to meme?
Yeah, definitely.
That's
Definitely on this
pre-based.
one. 100%. I've been friends with several soldiers from the Donetsk People's Republic and the Lugansk People's Republic
Yeah.
way before 2022, and they were already memeing on the battlefield.
Damn.
I had friends who were so. I'm not gonna name.
You're not gonna name names.
I'm not gonna name this guy, but he went to the war because before the war he was an airsofter.
Okay.
Back in, I believe, in the Republic of Sakha inside Russia. That's like way far east in Russia. Right? He used to like airsoft so much, and then he fought in the real wars, and then he was like, "Oh my God, people are making loadouts of me."
Ooh.
Yeah, like copying my loadouts in airsoft.
Jesus.
So we're living in that time.
Yeah. Memes are
That
important
age.
in war.
Memes are no longer,
Just memes.
Just memes. Like when you kill somebody in CS:GO,
Yeah.
there's also some stuff you can do in warfare.
So So would you say they squat on the enemy?
I mean, you've seen enemy girls in like gun stickers and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. No.
You've seen people hugging Genshin Impact character pillows
yeah,
in the war.
That's true.
Genshin Impact.
Anyways, moving on. Is it true that Russia has shitty nuclear weapons?
I don't know. I haven't tried. I mean,
You haven't tried?
come on, like Russia, give me some nukes so
Bro.
I can try some.
Bro, give us some nukes, dog.
Bro, yeah, give us some nukes.
There's a particular place on Earth where you can like probably nuke them, and only half the world would be angry.
Where would that
Oh,
be?
wait. Let's play a guessing game. Israel.
I mean, listen. Israel has one, all right?
Yeah.
Why can't we have one?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why can't we have
Come
one?
on.
Are we not Jewish?
No, we're not.
I mean,
No, we're
should we
not.
be Jewish?
L'chaim.
Mazel tov. Anyways, moving on. Is it true that all babushkas are trained to use AK-47 and Molotovs?
Actually, probably, because as far as I know, well, maybe not Molotovs, but I think using an AK-47 is in like Russian school curriculums.
Really?
Oh,
as
I
far as
see.
I know.
The same way how driving.
I think they're extracurricular, but I'm not surprised to see most Russians knowing how to like at least
Dismantle.
dismantle an
reassemble.
AK. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I see.
That's cool.
They probably don't own one or get conscripted to have one like it is in Israel, but I think knowing how to use an AK is a very common knowledge.
Yeah, you see, that's why they use the airsoft.
It's the same as in Germany, where people are taught to drive a Panzer in school curriculums. Okay, moving on.
All right. Speaking of Germany, right?
Oh yeah,
Next question, right?
is actually this.
Right. Is it true that Ukraine is reviving Hitler and trying to raise a zombie army so Ukraine can be the Fourth Reich?
I think Ukraine is trying to become its form of Hitler, like its form of Reich, but it just couldn't,
So you're saying there's no zombies?
unfortunately.
God damn it.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I know.
disappointing. Come on, be better.
Okay, question number 7. Is it true that Prigozhin is good at making pirozhki?
I've never tried. I'd like to try. So Prigozhin has like massive restaurant chains in Russia and some of them abroad. Allegedly in Indonesia as well, but I'm not sure about that. I can't verify. But
Okay.
if in one of those restaurants they have pierogies, I'd love to try.
Me
Speaking
too.
of foods, right?
I'm not going to be surprised if they're actually really good because Prigozhin is actually a very good chef.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Surprising.
Yeah, he began as a chef before he became
A warlord.
yeah.
I bet he has his own
See,
like, cooking.
looks
show.
like, okay, listen to that, guys. You can start off as everything and end up becoming a warlord.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can be anything you want, kids.
Yeah, there you go,
You can be anything
man.
you want.
You can start a hot dog joint and suddenly become
Yeah.
a warlord in
Exactly.
20 years. I mean,
Have the most feared army in
I
Europe.
mean, look, you can be a carpenter and then you become president. So I'm gonna.
And there you go.
I mean, come on.
You can also be the president's kid and be the vice
Oh,
president.
yeah.
Who knows, man?
Who knows?
Anyways, moving on.
Moving on. All right. So we were talking about pierogies, right? Or pierogi, right? Pierogi.
Pierogi.
Pierogi, right?
Fury.
So borscht soup. What's up with that?
Bussin', bro. Just try
Bussin'?
one. Yeah.
For real.
So what is it like?
It's like beet soup. It's literally beet soup. Like
It's
soup,
just
soup
beet.
made from beet.
That's it.
It tastes like very savory.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're underrated. I think we should have more borscht in Indonesia.
Ah, that's
Yo,
true.
Russian cuisine, bring it.
That's
bring it
really
to
good.
Indonesia, man. I kind of want it now.
Okay.
Borscht soup.
Okay. Question number 9. Have you ever met the real Baba Yaga?
I haven't met John Wick, and I don't wish to meet him anytime soon.
Bro, I kind of want to meet John Wick though.
But yeah, actually, yeah, you're right.
I kind of want to meet him. He said that one line in Indonesian one time.
Oh yeah,
What did he
that
say?
was so best.
Terima kasih.
I was like,
He
ada
said-
Indonesia coy.
Yeah, he was like, "Terima kasih." And then I'm like that Leo meme.
Yeah.
Hey, hey,
Ada Indonesia coy.
hey,
Ada Indonesia, coy.
Yo,
Yeah,
that was very cool.
I know.
That is very, very cool. All right, so. Oh man.
You gotta ask the question, buddy.
Is it true that the Russian flag
Uh-huh.
is just a sideways French flag?
I think I've heard that it's inspired by the Dutch flag back then.
The Dutch?
So
yeah,
it's
we have like, there was this, I forgot which, but there's this Russian star who was very Dutchaboo in a way.
Okay.
Like he really
Dutchaboo.
liked the Dutch.
That's a new term.
That's why he made like some cities called Saint Petersburg
Ah.
and stuff like that.
I see.
Ik memar nasi goreng. Yeah, next
Okay,
question.
next question. Are Russian people always cold?
I'm pretty sure the women were mostly hot, so
Oh yeah, that's no problem. Yeah.
Nah, bro.
I mean, like we just said, in anime depictions, right?
nah, bro.
Listen, dog. Listen. Hey, babushkas.
Babushkas, man. You know, babushkas, when they're old, you know, they get wrinkly, but when they were younger,
I mean, what would you call chicks in Russians?
Chicks in Russian.
Yeah, like what would you call-
Diavichki.
Diawichki?
Yeah.
Diawichki. That's unspoken riz right there.
Okay.
All right,
Number 12.
This
Sorry.
one,
Here.
right?
Yeah.
So as you said, right, the Russian Russian women are very attractive, right? So that
Okay.
means they have their own regimes and of exercise and dietary needs and whatnot. Maybe borscht soup or pierogis, right? But do you think that the Russian people never skip leg day because of Slav squat? Is it true?
I just came back from squatting earlier this day, so
Did you do the Slav
it's
squat?
probably almost. But
All right,
yeah.
I'm gonna do the one thing. So is this right?
not low enough, bro.
Not low enough? Can you show me? Come on, show me.
Nah.
Oh, come on.
He has been squatting for days, man. Let's
I
go.
want to see it. Come on. Let's go. Oh, man, that's low. Oh, my God, I can't. Yeah, we're
Can
squatting.
the camera pan down?
Can you
Boleh nggak kameranya? Yeah.
pan down a little bit?
Yeah. This is how you squat.
Yeah.
Like this low?
Yeah.
This low?
Can we also pose for a
How do you actually pose for a slap squat usually? Just like this?
yeah.
Just like this?
Yeah. Let's drink our vodka.
Oh, man. I can't. Help me. I can't get up.
Yeah. Man, you guys have really strong legs.
Help me. I can't get up.
I'm worn out.
I literally
I feel so heavy, man. Oh my God, man.
Nah, actually, no. That was good acting, by the way.
Oh man,
I
you
feel
should.
so dizzy.
You deserve an Emmy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really an
Chamberlain.
Oscar. Oh. Okay. Do you ever genuinely think that Russia is just jealous of the United States?
I think that they regretted something, which was selling off Alaska.
Yeah. I think they were too drunk when they accepted the sale.
Too much
Yeah.
vodka in their borscht soup.
Yeah, I think so as well. That was
Yeah.
that was a mistake.
Oh, number 14.
Number 14. All right. So you said you've been to Russia before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you've seen the Kremlin, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it true that the Kremlin is inspired by ice cream?
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, it's very swirly.
I'm gonna leave it there. I mean, like maybe I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know why. What's up with Orthodox people and that style of architecture? I mean, it's very interesting. I think they have buildings like that, like chapels in Indonesia and churches that look
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, it's art. It's art.
Yeah. Maybe they just really want ice cream at that time. I don't know. Or yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You did.
Okay. Question number. Let's just skip this. We pretty much like talked about this. But he definitely likes Russia. So the question was supposed to be, why do you like Russia so much?
Yeah,
And you
but
pretty much
we're gonna
answered
skip
it.
that,
So we're
yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
we're gonna
okay.
skip that. Okay.
Alright.
So question number 17. Who do you think will win in a fist fight? Khabib or Putin? If so, why are you sure?
1-on-1,
Yeah.
I don't think any person on earth can beat Khabib. I don't know, man. He's the man.
He's a monster.
Khabib is a very
He-
based man.
I heard when he was 3 years old, he fought against a bear.
He actually did.
And
Yeah,
then-
he was playing with a bear and like wrestling.
So-
Yeah, I saw the video as well.
Bro, that's
Yeah.
actually pretty cool.
Yeah, Russia recently won another like UFC competition.
Uh-huh.
I think Islam Makhachev.
Ah.
No. Khamzat Chimaev, the Chechen guy, Akhmat Sila, by the way. He beat the Saudi guy Umar Kuruma, I think.
Okay. What about that video about like someone challenging an Israeli fighter to the ring or something like that? I saw that.
That would be
video.
fun to see.
Bro.
I'd like to see Khabib go up against an Israeli.
Yeah,
Bro,
that'd be
that's
interesting.
So cool. I kind of
Yeah.
want to see it now.
I think he wouldn't compete for it, but he'd do it
Damn.
for the fight,
All right.
not for the fame.
Okay. And I guess we go
Number 18 is pretty much like, let's skip that.
skip that
Why
one.
do you support Russia so much? We obviously know.
we already.
Yeah,
got
19.
Why ask?
All right.
This or that? Gulag or Nusa Kambangan?
I haven't survived Nusa Kambangan. I've survived prison before, but I've survived gulags and COD more, so probably
Jesus.
gulags, bro.
Wait, how long did you survive prison?
5 days.
And that was pretty scary?
How was it?
How was it?
It's as bad as people say,
Oh, man.
but yeah, I think we can talk about that more off camera.
Yeah, let's
All
go.
right. All right.
It's too much.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, it's just great that you didn't turn out like Meg Griffin from Family Guy in this one episode where she was stuck inside she got jailed wrongly for about like 4 weeks and turned out to be a cartel strongman, a sicario or whatever. But yeah, moving on. Number 20.
Number 20. All right. So I guess this is a bit more of a gamer-based GG side. Is it true that Fuse from the Rainbow Siege game, like Rainbow Six Siege ability, is like that because of the Russian authorities like to kill hostages?
So this myth comes from the Beslan hostage siege in Dagestan, if I'm not mistaken. So back then, allegedly, the Russians bombed a side of a building which housed lots of hostages. I believe it's like a field for like sports and basketball in a school building. I think that's on that part it was a mistake, but overall the operation was mostly a success in a way that the terrorists were eliminated. Back then it was the Caucasus Emirate, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I mean, Russia has, a lot of Russian servicemen did mistakes like that in the past, but I think that myth is overrated. I think right now Russia has one of the best SWAT teams in the world. They have the Russian University of Spetsnaz in Gudermes, Chechnya, teaching the best in what they do these days.
Yeah, the Vimpel, the KGB ones, they seem to be the ones that are usually put on spotlight, right? The KGB Spetsnaz.
Vimpel are not really on the spotlight. Usually it's Alpha from the
Alpha, yeah,
from the FSB.
Alpha.
Vimpel is Team B, Alpha is Team
Oh
A.
yeah, Alpha is Team A.
Yeah,
There's
Vimpel-
also GRU Spetsnaz.
So the term Spetsnaz originally came from the GRU, actually. So
Okay.
back in the Soviet times, first commandos from the Soviet Union came from the GRU, or the Главное разведывательное управление, the main intelligence directorate of the Soviet Army back then. Soviet Armed Forces, not just the army. And now the GRU still exists in the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation. But other groups also made their own commandos. So you have also the Spetsnaz of the FSB, the current iteration of the KGB, and of the Russian, the National Guard. They also have their own Spetsnaz units. So yeah.
I see. I guess that's pretty interesting to know. But before we end the show, one more last question here. Is it true that Russians support Rocky during his fight with Drago because Russia is shit at the time?
Nah, no way, man. But I'm sure if Khabib was there, he'd beat both of them.
I guess that ends our show. Thank you very much, Sergei Besarkaliyev.
AKA the Vatman.
Vatman. Let's pose to end this video. Come on, let's do the squat. Squat.
Bro, I gotta lose my mic again, bro.
Yeah. No, it's okay, bro. Come on, let's pose.
Bruh.
Oh my god, I'm still sitting.
I can sit.
Fuck away. Oh my god, my laptop. I gotta put this away, bro.
I can do this.
This is kind of cringe in Russia, by the way. Very cringe.
Okay.
Unbased.
Unbraced.
Pan the video to our faces. Thank you for joining the Base Indonesian Talks with Bambino and Sergei Besarkaliyev. Do svidaniya!
До свидания.
Subscribe to the Based Indonesian Show. Dijamin halal